Advanced Residential Applications and Case Studies, Chapter 10, Questionable Property Characteristics Case Study, page 18, Chapter 10, Ending Quiz. This quiz has a total of 5 questions. There will be 1 question per page. You must achieve 80% to pass this quiz. Start quiz. Number 1, how can a new appraiser prepare for the challenges posed by complex appraisal assignments? A, reading appraisal reports. B, learning to think in a different or creative way. C, practicing mathematical skills. Or D, taking more continuing education than is mandated by the state. Kind of honestly, you can probably do all of these and prepare, but I think the most correct answer with the point that they want is for you to think in a different or creative way. Number 2, when an appraiser uses an extraordinary assumption in an appraisal, her reporting requirements include: A, statement that the appraisal is a limited appraisal and is not as reliable as a complete appraisal. B, a statement of what the value would have been without the extraordinary assumption. C, disclosure that the use of the extraordinary assumption may have affected the appraiser's conclusions. Or D, disclosure that a hypothetical condition and an extraordinary assumption are synonymous. I'm going to go C. Disclosure that the use of the extraordinary assumption may have affected the appraiser's conclusions. Number 3. An appraiser's interior walkthrough inspection of a home is considered to be a complete inspection and is technically exhaustive. True or false? This one's a little tricky. Because at first thought I think it is true, but I mean, is it really ever complete on a complete inspection, you know? So, I mean, I think both answers are right, but I think this is going to be one of them stupid ones, man. I'm going to go false because I think there could be a more complete inspection, like if you were a home inspector kind of a thing. So both answers are right. I'm going to go false because I think that one is more true. Number 4, exterior only inspection appraisals are inherently easier than appraisals that involve a full interior and exterior inspection by an appraiser. True or false? I'm going to go false. Number 5, what is another preferred term for drive-by appraisal? A, exterior only inspection appraisal. B, drive-through appraisal. C, limited appraisal. Or D, desktop appraisal. I'm going to go exterior only inspection appraisal. Assessment completed, finish. You passed, you got 100%. Great job, great job. So remember, number 1, how can a new appraiser prepare for challenges posed by complex appraisal assignments. You said learning to think in a different or creative way, and that was correct. Good job. Number 2, when an appraiser uses an extraordinary assumption in an appraisal, her reporting requirements include, you said, disclosure that the use of the extraordinary assumption may have affected the appraiser's conclusions, and that is correct. Number 3, an appraiser's interior walk-through inspection of a home is considered to be a complete inspection and is technically exhaustive. You said false, and that was correct. So that one was the hardest one, because in all honesty, both of them sound correct, but try to remember that I guess you could say inspection by a professional home inspector is probably the most complete. Just that's probably why I went with that, and it seemed to be correct. Number 4, exterior-only inspection appraisals are inherently easier than appraisals that involve a full interior and exterior inspection by an appraiser. True or false? You said false, and that was correct. That was like one of the big takeaways from this last chapter. Exterior-only inspectional appraisals can honestly make doing the reporting and all that and the math honestly harder, because you weren't able to get a look inside. So that's the takeaway. Number 5, what is another preferred term for drive-by appraisal? Remember, the correct one that they want us to use is exterior only inspection appraisal, and that was correct. Good job. Continue. Chapter 11, Case Study of Encumbered Ownership Interest, page 1, Overview. Chapter Learning Objectives. Recognize the difference between real estate and real property, and how property rights issues can make an appraisal complex. Develop the sales comparison approach and cost approach on a complex property, and learn how to estimate the value of a property that is encumbered by a life estate. End of page. Page 2, chapter introduction. Did you know that your goal actually is not to become a real estate appraiser? The fact of the matter is that your goal is to become a real property appraiser. That's kind of highlighted. Real estate appraiser, real property appraiser. What's the difference? Actually, the two terms are perfectly appropriate and are considered synonymous by most people. So feel free to identify yourself as either a real estate appraiser or a real property appraiser. But you should at least understand why the better term to describe your profession is real property appraiser. And this case study is a good example of the difference between real estate and real property. Real estate, that's highlighted, is defined in USPAP as an identified parcel or tract of land, including improvements, if any. Real property, that's highlighted, is defined as the interests, benefits, and rights inherent in the ownership of real estate. End of page.